clearly novice streamer. Right. Hey everyone. I know I sort of just jump into these races without really, either giving an introduction to the race itself or who I am and what I'm doing. But I promise I will get to that at some point. Just the way I have my streams and everything set up, which again I will also explain eventually. It requires me to run up and down and sideways, and I have to basically do 35 headstands before I can actually get the stream up and running. Oh, I don't have my spotter. How very nice of me. See what I mean?
Radio check.
Alright, here we go. Hey, this is Tshaf. Probably not like any other introduction on a YouTube video you've ever seen before. Quite frankly, I'm whole new to this streaming, video, YouTubing thing. So bear with me as I, get up to speed and the ropes and all that. Currently you are watching a recording of, well, myself in VR. iRacing Formula Renault 3.5 Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Yeah. Okay. I should have really explained my intentions for this video. In fact, if I have... Nope, I missed it out again. So it looks like we're going to do this. So what I just did there was basically I needed to check the time to see if I can leave this and join another session at 12:15, but... the answer to that is no, because it is 12:16. Why would I do that, you ask? Well, seeing that I am 17 seconds behind P8, I'm currently P9. I hate losing. Who doesn't? But at the end of the day, this is the very first time that I am doing this session in this car.
That was 137.2.
Doing something I quite frankly have never done before, which is, at the moment, it just seems like I'm talking to myself. But I mean, there's thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people who do this every single day, so hey, why not me, right? Rightio, I mean, I guess this is a good opportunity to sort of, take things a bit easy and
just done 17.0.
Explain what's going on here from an overall perspective.
Increased to 19 seconds.
quite frankly, I wouldn't really call myself a gamer, right? Couple reasons for that, but at the end of the day, I've always had a thing for cars. I've always had a thing for speed. Ever since I was a kid, you know, my friends and I, from building Legos to, you know, playing the Need for Speed Underground video games in the nightclub, and just, you know, always spotting the nicest cars on the road who can basically pick them out and so on and so forth. You know, it's just like, for as long as I can remember, I've always had a passion for cars and going fast and whatnot. Needless to say, with that being said, doesn't mean I don't play video games. Obviously I do. I've had every single PlayStation console since PlayStation 1 up until the PS4. You know, I do play what would be considered
Just on a warning for cutting the track.
RPG games, adventure games, you know, everything from like Crash Bandicoot and then Spyro the Dragon on PS1 all the way up till, you know, Modern Warfare. Though I haven't tried Warzone yet. Apparently it's really good. God damn, this is freaking hard as hell. But like I said, I will use this opportunity and do the most of it. So the reason why I'm saying I don't call myself a gamer is because what I'm doing here, what I'm doing right now, quite frankly, I never considered myself doing, ever in my life. And no, I don't mean racing, I mean, you know, the commentary, recording myself, doing what I'm currently doing, which is, yeah, sure, I mean, some people consider it a racing game, but at the end of the day, I feel, me personally, this is as close to the real thing, for now, within my budget that I can get. Right, I mean, everyone has hopes and dreams. As corny as this may sound, you know, if I could, I would be a race car driver in a heartbeat, right? Like Formula One, I mean, that's obviously all the way on the top.
Blue flag.
There you go, man. But even something, you know, to be able to just get in a car and like the competition, right? Like everyone, well, not everyone, but I would say a good majority of us have had sort of that desire to want to be better than somebody else at something, whatever it may be. You know, for the gaming community, depending on whatever you're into, right? First-person shooting, action games, adventure games, RPG, like whatever the case may be, you just want to better yourself and your skills to get to the top. For me, that's racing.
Blue flag. Clear left.
You're welcome, man. Okay, I can't keep destroying my ratings like this. Also, that was really squeezing my head. Um, so yeah, let me take these again, just a few minutes to sort of talk about what's going on here instead of me trying to do two things at once, which I know is something I have to get better at. But so yeah, so again, I never thought I'd be doing this again, talking into a webcam. Quite frankly, I am just now starting to realize that this is very much for people who don't have sort of a knack of doing so. You watch people on YouTube like are able to commentate on things that they're doing naturally, like just speak to it, whatever it is going on, albeit they know that no one is there, right, in the sense that no one's in the room, but they understand and they know that there's a community out there that they're sort of speaking to. Seeing it as a viewer is one thing, but putting yourself on the excuse me, putting yourself on the other side of the camera is a completely different story, and I'm just starting to realize that. As I said before, I never saw myself doing something like this. This is something that recently sort of developed, right? I'm a die-hard racing fanatic. And no, we're not talking NASCAR. We're talking, GT3, everything from GT3, Formula 1, Formula 2, Formula 3, WEC, World Endurance Championship, right? IMSA, International Motorsports Association. Like, essentially, like the strategy and the sporting of racing is something that, for the last, let's say, I don't know, less than a decade, 6-7 years, it's something I've really been ramping up on. But basically, I started getting into iRacing. For those of you who don't know, it's a racing game / service. I prefer to look at it as a service because you do pay yearly for it. You do pay for every single car that you want to drive, every single track, right? That you want to be able to participate all the race sessions, all the practice sessions. You basically have to own that by dishing out some moolah for it. So one of my friends sort of introduced me. Well, let me take a step back. I remember sitting in my apartment in one day, and basically I had just recently gotten off a project from work. So I'm a consultant on my day-to-day, but basically I had just got rolled off a 7 or 8 month long project that took much of my time. Like, we're talking maybe I was working close to 14-15 hours a day. And when that had finished, I basically I felt so, not empty, but like, now what, right? And I needed something to fill that void. And naturally, I'm just sitting there, and I just flipping through the channels. I tried to find something with cars or YouTube, trying to find something to catch my interest, and then all of a sudden it dawned to me, like, I have a very strong, not very strong, but I'm fairly confident that it was not anything that I saw, because I do remember it was sort of like a light bulb moment where I'm just like, dude, I want to do VR, right? Like, I want to be able to get as close to racing as possible, because I knew, because I'm sitting there and I'm just like, all right, what do I want to do for fun? And again, up until that point, I had PS4 and PS3 and different gaming consoles, but aside from maybe Call of Duty and GTA and a couple of other like binge games, I was never the one to play something like that competitively. I'd play with friends here and there, but I was never able to stick with it. So I mean, without making this super long-winded, I essentially was sitting there on the couch and just like, yo, I want to do VR. Like, I want to race in VR, right? Like, that was the thought. And I immediately sprung up. And I remember I texted my, at that time, fiance, and I'm just like, look, I had this idea. I'm not going to stop until it happens. And she's basically like, uh-oh, what is it? And I just explained it to her. Not explained it to her. I basically just told her what the idea was. Like, look, I want to do VR racing, and she was like, like, she knew what that entailed from a perspective of like she knew that I had no idea what I had to do to get there, um, and I know she didn't either. So it was sort of just like for her, like, okay, we're going down a path, or at least he's going down a path that's like, I know he's gonna be hooked, right? And fast forward to today, here I am. I basically have this rig set up that allows me to, um, stream via my VR headset. It's a Pimax 5K plus XR. Basically, it's like a 200-degree field of view. You see via your peripherals. I initially started one off with the Oculus as like, it's just your basic standard VR, and naturally just wanted to make the upgrade. So again, without making this long-winded, I remember that's how it all started. Found out about iRacing through one of my best friends. He explained to me that this is a thing. This is what it is. You have to pay monthly. I was like, at that point, I didn't care about the monetary investment. I just wanted to get it done, right? So up until a couple weeks ago, I was, just any and every race session that I could find, I would join, right? Just trying to get the hang of okay, I understand racing from a visual perspective, from a viewer's perspective, but what does it mean to sit in a car and race in a grid, right, amongst other cars who have, either the same or very similar vehicles. So, albeit it took some time to understand and just even grasp the basic concepts. Everyone has this starts from somewhere, and I remember we started in the Mazda Cup, basically driving the Mazda Miata around Laguna Seca, which, quite frankly, I think is how most people start off the service. Again, I know I keep saying I don't want to make this long-winded, so I'll try to cut it short, but that's basically how it was. Just getting the hang of the idea of racing. Bought myself, the G29 steering wheel, see and monitor, whatever, the whole 9 yards. And recently, me and a couple of my best friend who initially told me about this, and his friend who now we're part of the same, sort of Discord group. He explained that, look, I have this friend Elliot, he's been doing this for years, he'll be able to sort of teach and train us and take us through the basic setups, and that's exactly what happened. Basically explaining to us, and like just from the very beginning, right, like, okay, this is how you take an apex, right, this is how you're supposed to trail brake, this is how you brake in a straight line, you want to make sure that you're trailing and not like over breaking the threshold, and so on and so forth, just concepts that naturally, or instinctually you understand while you're in the car, but conceptually trying to explain it to us. So at the end of the day, we recently we ganged up together and formed a team, and we were racing basically every Sunday. and he's a hardcore streamer, right? But racing wasn't or isn't his primary thing. His main focus was Rocket League. So whenever we did stream but he has been doing it, and he did stream iRacing from time to time. So it's not like it was something brand new to him or his viewers. However, when myself and my buddy, we started this endurance Sunday stream, more and more people started questioning, at least from my understanding, myself, and how into it I am, how dedicated I am, and in terms of like just my setup and the headset and like the gloves and the head sock, like I go all out. So it seemed like there seemed to be some sort of like community, albeit maybe it was 1 or 2 or 5 people, right? But at the end of the day, it got me thinking, like, maybe there is a subset of people out there that would be interested in sort of just knowing from a basic standpoint, and understanding, like, again, sort of how I started, right? Like what racing is and what it takes, and how how to go from nothing to something if that's something that you really wanted to do. So yeah, so that's kind of like where we are. I am not. I haven't ever done this before. It's my very first time. I still, quite frankly, feel kind of silly. But again, at the end of the day, I know this is how many people start. Right? It's very much. I've realized now at this point that it is an acquired skill. It is something that you have to practice. You get better at naturally. I get why people are always very adamant about feedback and comments, right? Because it's the only way you'll grow. It's like my work life, quite frankly, right? I mean, if my manager or my supervisor, they don't tell me what's going good, what's going bad, I'm not going to know what to do in order to be able to progress and move forward. So yeah, I mean, that could have made 100% sense, as I think it did in my mind, or it could have made absolutely no sense. Um, and for that, I do apologize, but at the end of the day, let's say, or consider this my unofficial / official intro video, I guess. Seeing me spin out in the Formula Renault 3 and just explaining what I'm doing here, who I am, what I'm doing here. And I'm sure as time goes on, I'll post more videos and explain more and more, and slowly but surely, we'll build a base. And if not for anyone, then I'm definitely doing this for myself. So I can know myself better, understand, who I am as far as it comes to all this, right? Because I've quite frankly devoted a lot. You could ask anybody around me, a lot, like a lot of time to the sim, right? I mean, I step out of this thing soaking in sweat, and immediately my family members just, they don't even question me anymore because they understand and they know that that's what I've been doing for the past hour and a half, right? So yeah, I've posted a couple of videos online of myself, sort of, doing races that I thought were worth putting up. But at the end of the day, thinking it from a viewer's perspective, right? No one's going to want to sit there and watch 45 minutes of what looks like a video game of someone going around and around and a bunch of numbers on the screen, and they don't really understand what's going on, right? I mean, I know that was something that I had to take care of, and I knew I had to do something like this at some point. So there you go. I'll cut this one short, and if there's anything that you guys, or if anyone ever watches this, definitely feel free to reach out. I do have a Twitch, but again, just like my YouTube channel, it's very fresh, very very virgin. I'm still getting the ropes and understanding how and what the best way to stream is, because as you just saw, I'm in the headset, right? So what you would see in the headset, what I see in the headset is completely different than what you see, right? Obviously, you see the chase, you see the actual car. However, it's quite frankly quite difficult to project what's in the HMD display onto the screen. I can do it, however, it's not necessarily a good experience, and I'll post a couple videos that I have recorded of myself and of the VR. It's not of the main view as you see the chase. It's like the inlet of where the little box, like where I'm at, but at least you'll be able to see what I see, right? And if that's something that people think is interesting, then sure, why not? I'll continue to look into it. But yeah, again, the name's Tshaf, right? Feel free to reach out as time goes on, and as I finalize my logistics of my stream for Twitch. I'll be sure to start streaming live more and more. But yeah, I mean, until then, I'll go ahead and continue to post videos. So shall talk to y'all soon, hopefully. But yeah, peace.